Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to English class. I know you're really sad that I'm not there, but it'll be okay. So, now I need you to take out the house on the corner that you picked up on your way in the room. If you didn't, make sure you grab that off the shelf really quick. And we're just going to talk about answering a short answer question a little bit more than we did the other day. So, whenever you're reading a passage where you have a short answer question, I want you to make sure that the first thing you do is look on the back page or at the bottom wherever the questions are and read the question first. So let's go to the second page and we see the question says, what makes the house appealing to thieves? So the whole time you're reading this text, I want you to make sure that you're thinking about that question and trying to answer that for yourself. One way that you're going to help yourself do that is take out a pen or pencil and I need you to write this question at the top of your page. So what makes the house appealing to thieves? And I'll just put that right here. What makes the house appealing to thieves? I'm going to highlight it so that I don't forget what my focus is while I'm reading this, okay? And so, as we're reading this together, I'm going to go ahead and read the first two paragraphs with you, and I just want you to highlight or mark all of the evidence that answers that question. So every time we run across something that you can tell would make the house appealing to thieves, I want you to mark that. So here we go. The house on the corner. The two boys ran until they came to the driveway. See, I told you today was good for skipping school, said Mark. Mom is never home on a Thursday, he added. I would probably stop and think Mom is never home on a Thursday would be some good evidence for why the house might be appealing to thieves. So I'm going to highlight that. He added, tall hedges hid the house from the road. Again, tall hedges are hiding the house. Probably something that a thief would be aware of to make sure that it's safe to steal from them. Then the pair strolled across the front garden. Before going inside, Mark wanted to show Pete the outside laundry room, which is going to be converted into his own special playroom. It was a huge room with a high ceiling. The place smelt of stale air and dirty washing. It was gloomy and dusty, and something wispy brushed his face as Pete walked through the connecting door to the garage. The garage looked as if it had been empty for years, judging by the cobwebs hanging everywhere. I'm hungry, said Pete. So they went on and let themselves into the house by a side door. Mark explained that it was left open in case his little sister got home earlier than their mother. So the side door is left open. So I would probably mark this. It was left open in case his little sister got home earlier than their mother. Because again, that's something a thief might want to keep in mind. And then say Pete felt nervous now, but Mark said it was fine, and to prove his point, insisted on showing him all around the house. They started in the living room. Much to Pete's alarm, Mark turned on the stereo. Don't worry, the nearest house is a quarter of a mile away. That would also probably be something that a thief might want to know, shouted Mark. Pete felt more relaxed as he looked out of the window and could see there were no houses in sight from any direction across the garden. So there were no houses in sight. So make sure you've highlighted these things. And you can see that all of these are pieces of evidence from the text that would make the house appealing to thieves. And then I need you to continue on your own and read the rest of the first page and highlight the evidence that you see. After you're finished with that, I want you to choose your 5 best pieces of evidence that prove that the house is appealing to thieves, and I want you to put them right here, okay? So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to pick one that I thought would be helpful. So let's say the nearest house is a quarter of a mile away. And I'm going to bring that down to my evidence. I'm going to stick it right there. And then, after you have your 5 pieces of evidence, I need you to put in your answers or inferences. And what this is you're going to look at the quote that you have and make sure you put quotes on it because it's not your words, it's somebody else's. Quarter of a mile away. Okay. So, the nearest house is a quarter of a mile away, and I want you to think about what conclusion can you draw from this evidence. So what might make it appealing to a thief? Maybe that if they try to steal from this house, no one will be around to catch them. Now you notice that in the evidence, it doesn't say that if they try to steal from this house, no one will be around to catch them. But you can infer this, right? You can, based on the text, you can draw this conclusion because we know that the houses around it are far away. And so it would be difficult for someone from one of the other houses to see that. Okay? So I need you to list your 5 pieces of evidence here and then your answer or inference for each of those pieces of evidence. When you're finished with that, you need to drop down to this box and you need to answer the question. And remember, when we start answering a short answer question, the first thing you need to do is restate the question in order to, there we go, restate the question, and then in your answer, and say, the house is appealing to thieves because, and then after you've done that, you also need to include your proof, which is the evidence quote that you've chosen to write about in your short answer, and put that in quotes, but you also want to embed it in a sentence like we talked about when we discussed APE strategy the other day. And then you also need to conclude with your conclusion, your inference, the answer that you got from this. Okay, your grade on this assignment will be based on your short answer response, the 5 pieces of evidence and the 5 inferences that you have, and that you've highlighted all of the pieces of evidence in the story that make the house appealing to thieves. And then before you leave class today, you need to turn this in the Turnitin drawers over on the side of the classroom where the red shelf is, and make sure you put it in your class box. All right? Wonderful. Enjoy, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.